All right. Give me a second here. Good evening. Today is November 20th, 2019. The time is 6:44 p.m. I call this meeting of the Edcachos Independent School District to order. Roll call.
Let the record show that the following Board of Trustees are present. Board President Robert Small Street.
Present.
Board Vice President Chris Morales.
Here.
Board Secretary Robert Peacock. Here. Board Trustee Fernando Torres.
Here.
Board Trustee Juan de Ibarra. Here. Board Trustee Tony Barco.
Here.
Board Trustee Rolando Lozano.
Here.
Board President, you have a quorum?
Let the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. If we can rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Lozano, if you can lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Rocha, can you lead us in the invocation, please?
Heavenly Father, as we come together this evening, we just give you the praise and glory that you truly deserve. We ask that you guide our Board of Trustees, Dr. Rivera, as they make those critical decisions for our district. I am most wisdom, Heavenly Father, and Heavenly Father, we just ask that you bless them, and that you bless everybody here tonight in this very special season of Thanksgiving. We just give you all the thanks, praise, and glory. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Rocha. Next item, public comments.
Mr. President, I'm sorry, but we have the public hearing first.
I thought we
You
had
want to do
the,
the comments right now, or after?
So, okay.
you didn't have the public hearing?
Public hearing hasn't taken place?
No.
No? Okay,
Oh, I
start there.
I thought it. Okay, we are going to postpone the public comments. And let the record reflect that from the regular meeting, this is going to be a public hearing instead of the regular board meeting that I called earlier. And the quorum stays the same, the time stays the same, but it'll go into the public hearing. Go ahead, Dr. Rivera.
Ms. Garcia?
Sorry for the misunderstanding.
Good evening, Board President, Trustees, Superintendent, Dr. Rivera. The purpose of the public hearing is to present the targeted improvement plans for Ruben C. Rodriguez Elementary and Carlos Truan Junior High School. So with us this evening, we have Mrs. Raquel Olivares, Principal for Ruben C. Rodriguez, and Mr. Alfredo Aguilar, Principal for Carlos Truan, myself, Carmen Garcia, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum, and also serve as the District Coordinator for School Improvement. The reason why the campuses had to do the targeted improvement plan was because Ruben C. Rodriguez received a D in one of their domains, and then Carlos Truan was identified as a comprehensive support campus. The state changed the framework that we're using as we're analyzing the needs for the campuses. This is called the Effective Schools Framework, and there are 5 components. These are referred to as levers. So we have strong school leadership and planning, effective, well-supported teachers, positive school culture, high-quality curriculum, and effective instruction. So the campuses had to get a diagnostic done to determine the area of need for their particular campus, and then once they had that, then they created their targeted improvement plan. So the campuses put a team together composed of some of their teachers, administrators at their campus. They reviewed their data and they recorded their findings. They identified annual outcomes or goals. They identified cycles, outcomes and goals, because they need to review this every 90 days. And then they created their action plan. Again, these are a 90-day cycle for each of their areas. So the first one presenting is Ms. Marisela Olivares.
Good evening.
So out of the 13 essential actions, this slide here shows the 3 that we are prioritizing at RCR Elementary. The very first one has to do with the campus leaders. So the desired goal for this one is that we have a very structured and detailed observation calendar showing specific times that we are visiting classrooms, and it includes coaching as well, as long as building our leadership team. And our leadership team does consist of 1 teacher from every grade level. The next one that we are prioritizing has to do with our campus vision, mission, goals, values, and are all tied back to having a safe environment with high expectations. The desired outcome for this is that all students and staff understand the vision and mission, of course, that they are committed to it by taking ownership. And then the third one has to do with data-driven instruction. The goal is that we ensure that we are creating methods to visually show where we're at and what the goals are for every single classroom. The next slide is the first slide that outlines the goal. So not the goal, but the plan. So this slide right here shows the plan for Essential Action 1.1. Again, this is the one having to do with leaders. So what my CA and I have is we have a very detailed calendar outlining what classrooms we're visiting on a daily basis. It also shows the time and then the coaching. The coaching is key, that we meet with them at the end of the day or during their conference to discuss what we observed, give them ideas to improve and be more effective in the classroom. And then, of course, that I check daily with my CA to ensure that her feedback is taking place and that her calendar is in place. That's cycle 1. Cycle 2, which is from December to February. This one here outlines the job responsibilities and performance expectations for the counselor, the curriculum assistant, and the campus leaders. And then the next one, meet with individual lead teachers to review job responsibilities, performance expectations, and develop goals. We've accomplished what's on cycle 1, and right now we're moving forward with cycle 2. Cycle 3, this involves meeting with the lead team to model data check-in processes. We're already doing this, and conduct weekly data check-ins to make instructional adjustments as needed to ensure that our students are on track and progressing well. This is already being done, although it's not March yet. So the next slide outlines Essential Action 3.1. This is the one that has to do with our campus mission, vision, goals, and values. Cycle 1, we've already accomplished. Myself, along with the CA, met with the leadership team. We revised all that are mentioned above. We not only revised them, but we have posted them throughout the campus. We include them during our morning announcements. If you are to approach any student and ask, what are your core values? I'm very confident that they will tell you, we're RCR, we're responsible, we're courteous, and we're resourceful. And we're moving towards including that, the vision statement as well, because we want them to, again, take that ownership and abide by it. The campus fall climate survey, we've administered that. I will be sharing the results with the staff tomorrow. So we're on target with that. Cycle 2, daily announcements. We do live stream our announcements. As mentioned earlier, we do say our core values on a daily basis during our announcements, and we're going to start including the vision like I mentioned. Cycle 3, we're going to administer a spring survey as well. This is something that we've done every year, but this year we did it in the fall as well. And then those results will be shared as well with the staff. Moving on to the next essential action, this is the one having to do with our data. So for cycle 1, we've created classroom charts displaying where the students are and the goals. These are already in the classrooms, and by the end of the month, we'll have them displayed in the halls as well. And then cycle 2, we are modeling the corrective action planning process following the first district benchmark. So this week, we conducted our district benchmark. The students took math on Monday, they took reading on Tuesday, and already today, we got together with the grade levels. We've laid out our data on the color bands. So we are going to move forward to sharing this with the students and displaying the goals. So for example, if you are at the meets right now, this is where you're at. Now we need you to be at the masters. And that's something that's displayed in the classroom for the students to see. And that conference takes place between the teacher and the students. And the lead teachers will implement the corrective action planning process with the 3rd and 4th 6 weeks assessment. Cycle 3, we're going to structure and model PLC meetings to ensure teachers are focused on student data and progress, and teachers are sharing instructional strategies. We're already doing this, but we are bringing somebody from the outside to do a formal training with us, and that should be happening in December.
Good.
And campus administrators, we are currently leading the PLCs, but eventually we're going to have the lead teachers lead them to where we sit back, observe, and provide feedback. So that is my plan in a nutshell.
Have you found that every resource you've needed has been provided? I mean,
Oh, yes. We
everything?
have resources, not a concern. We have plenty of resources. What we are working on doing is being more strategic with them. What resources are we using with this group of students that needs to be up here? The ones that are struggling, what resources are we using with those? We are being more intentional with that, but we have plenty of resources.
Awesome. Okay, well, good.
Including technology, we have plenty of technology.
We're also including parents, right?
Yes.
We need a lot of, parents and teachers have to work hand in hand, because, I mean, me being a teacher as well, we have a hard time fitting in all the instruction that we have during the school day, much less they go home, they have time to, continue with what they were taught during the day.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that that's something else that our teachers need to have constant communication with parents, making sure that they're aware. Just like our students, knowing their goals, our parents need to know the goals that we set for their children.
Definitely. We are being very transparent with their parents. It's important that they know exactly where their child is at and that the conversations are taking place with all students. Not, at times, especially this year, the students that are already high performing, we're having them stay for tutoring, so the conversation had to take place because parents are questioning, well, they passed last year, why do they need tutoring? Well, they did pass, but we need them passing at the highest level, and they have the potential, and we're going to work with them to get them there, because we know that those that pass at the masters are the ones that are going to count for us 3 times, that are going to get us out of the situation that we're in. So now I stand here, this is not something I'm proud to share, but I do stand here very confidently saying that we will get out of it. We're working very hard and very intentionally.
Well, we believe in you, and we know that you'll do a good job and get out of this little hiccup that you had, and anything you need, anything you need from us, let us know. Let Dr. Rivera know, and that way we can help out in any way. I know the resources have been provided. Now it's just a matter of you and the staff putting everything into place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Thank
support.
you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Mr. Alar?
So at Carlos F. Truan, we have 2 prioritized essential actions. We have 1.1 and 3.1. Under 1.1, it stresses that the administration lead daily PLC meetings, and we are. Either we meet with department on a daily basis or we meet with the academic teams. At Truan now this year, we have academic teaming, so that's a big plus for us this year. Also, it calls for me, the principal, to meet with the SILT committee, which is the administration team, the counselors, and I meet with them every Monday. And we tackle everything that comes up from discipline to curriculum to testing to POCs. Under 3.1, it says compelling and aligned vision, mission, goals, values, focus on a safe environment, and high expectation. Our emphasis here is PBIS, the Positive Behavior Intervention System. And I can tell you right now that our discipline referrals have extremely declined.
Good.
And the key is, we mentioned parents earlier, we're involving parents. Anytime there's an issue, contact the parent first. They don't like surprises. We don't like surprises. They certainly don't. So a lot of parent contact that's involved. The next slide, please. So under 1.1, the 3 cycles. Under the first essential action, it says, again, focus on PLCs. We do this daily. Either, again, we meet with the academic team or we meet with department, but we meet. Teachers cannot say they don't see me on a daily basis, or the assistant principal, they see somebody, we meet with them on a daily basis, anything that comes up. We're also hoping to hire a reading coach. That's highly necessary to lead our PLCs, help our struggling students. We know who they are, we've targeted them, they need extra help. So that's a goal that we have. We also want to make sure that we're looking at data. We had our second 6 weeks test, we've had that data, it looks good. We had our second benchmark just this week. We expect to get those results by the end of the week and share those with curriculum department, our staff, and parents as well. And students know, using the color band, like Mari mentioned, using the color bands, the kids know where they're at. And they set their goals, their end of year goals, their next benchmark goals. So we not only, the adults or teachers are tracking them, they know where they fall, and that helps a lot for them themselves. Also looking at observations, we do daily observations. We want to give teachers instant feedback, especially those teachers that we know are struggling and have those students that are mastering really low. Under 3.1, the 3 cycles, again, PBIS. I shared the PBIS plan at the beginning of the year. I didn't waste any time. in August. It was shared with the teachers. I expect that to go to the classrooms. I also met with all the students the first week of school and shared the PBIS. That's the expectation, the core values, and like Mari said, you ask any student, because we say it every day, discipline, character, single pride. That's been around for years at Truani, because we've been
Sure
around.
has.
But we emphasize it now, and that's what we expect. We expect the behavior, the discipline, the respect from students. The committee meets every 9 weeks. There is a climate survey that parents, teachers, and students are going to do online. Again, we study the discipline data. We look at referrals that are coming in. We make sure teachers are making parent contact. We don't just go after a kid, give them consequences. We make sure the parent knows what's going on. Also, at the end of the year, there'll be an additional climate survey to compare results from the first survey to the end of year survey. So our ultimate goals for 2020 is, of course, to meet all our goals. And if we need to revise the plan in the summer, we'll do that in June and start from the beginning again next year in August. That's all.
Mr. Aguilar, the same question. You feel all resources have, I mean, you've got all the resources you need at this point?
Absolutely. We have plenty of resources. We just need to make sure we target the students that need it. Not just bringing resources and everybody, just targeting students.
Perfect, okay.
Mr. Aguilar, is there a behavior policy or procedure that you have there? I don't know if it's district-wide or in your campus as far as referrals and principals and parents.
Yes, so we have the student code of conduct, we have the student handbook, and we have the teacher discipline manual that all teachers have. So it's in writing, the policies are there, anytime a parent wants to, it's online. Also, parents ask us, we have it.
No, okay. Yeah, it's a district-wide. Yeah, I know, I met with some teachers and from another district, and they're in the middle school, like yourself, and it seemed like they're in that age, where they're not in high school and they're not elementary, and it seems like behavior is a big issue, and it's kind of hard with the behavior to teach instruction with that. And one of the things was they were recommending is to have a policy as far as behavior issues. You have grade level 1, level 2, level 3, but you have to be stick with it.
Consistent.
Yeah, consistent with it, and across the board. No favoritism, no nothing. No matter who it is, no matter if he's the quarterback of the 8th grade team or anybody else, you have to go across the board, and it has to be like that.
Yeah, we have to be, and it starts in the classroom. Teachers post up their rules, and it reflects what we have online. So it's not something they're doing on their own rules.
Yeah.
It's something that we're consistent on campus.
Yeah.
We see it in every classroom.
Okay, good. Any other questions for Mr. Aguilar in reference to Truan Middle School? How's the 6th grade campus coming along?
So they're doing well,
Yeah.
doing well. I like the idea that they're over there. That 8th level, which really.
You prepare them for-
Can't mix them with 7th and 8th, but I like it, teachers like it, they like what they're doing over there.
Great,
Awesome.
great. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Mr. Aguilar.
Thank
Best of
you.
luck to you.
We both
You have our support as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that will conclude our presentation and discussion on RCR and Truan. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Morales, second by Mr. Torres. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The time is 7:02 p.m. Public hearing is now adjourned. I'm going to open up the regular meeting now. And it'll be November 20th, 2019. This time is 7:03. Mr. Peacock, roll call.
Board President, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Peacock. I'm gonna go ahead and skip the allegiance and invocation. I'm gonna jump over to public comments here. Where's my list? Okay. We have Mr. John Gonzalez. And I see here, Mr. Gonzalez, you want an agenda item, you put N? Is that the item you're gonna cover? That's correct. Item N on the consent agenda? Okay.
If I can add, for public comment, keep in mind all items discussed in public comment must be strictly adhered to what is within the agenda. Please do not deviate at all from what's on the agenda. Anything outside of that scope will be considered something that we'll have to maybe stop the public comment. And we'd like this notice right here to serve as the first kind of warning. And anything outside of that will be considered a final strike. So, thank you.
Just a point of order in regards to that. You have changed the parameters of the public forum as we on the threshold of addressing item N, BED local. And so the point of order that I'd like to make is you're changing this even before the board has even discussed and adopted this new local policy. House Bill 2840 changed the parameters of the public forum in an effort to engage the public with the board. Okay? So if there's going to be any misconstrued interpretation, I challenge the attorney to bring forward those challenges
Sir.
before the Attorney General in regards to these point of orders. This is a new House bill that was adopted to take effect September the 1st. The legislature, Terry Canales, introduced it in an effort to...
If I can for a second, sir, we'll allow this to begin. Your clock has begun, so
When,
you can.
when we're ready.
Well,
So-
you started.
Let's go ahead. Yeah, you've already begun, just so you know.
3 minutes.
You-
BED topic that I wish to bring before the board involves a conflict of interest which centers around the BED local that you're accepting tonight. I bring before you a conflict of interest which surfaces with the law firm that is represented here tonight of O'Hanlon, Rodriguez, Bentecourt, Demerit, and specifically bring forward documents 2774444 and document 2849184, which is a public document in where a board member is selling his personal property and the law firm is representing them in this particular sale. The documents, and I present them to the board tonight, the documents state and are notarized and they're
Sir,
stating.
I'm going to ask you
Again.
to stay to what's within the agenda.
It is
I
the
understand
agenda
that
item,
you're claiming that it is not within,
On how,
sir, this conflict is not within BED local that we're discussing, which is,
I will address it in the sense that it says
sir,
specifically.
keep in mind this item.
May I
Specifically,
finish?
public entity,
And I wish to
individuals
address
speaking
it, says
on
a
what is on
board
the
may
agenda.
not prohibit public criticism of the board, may not prohibit public criticism of this board, including criticism of any act, omission, policy, procedure. In this case, this act. I have two documented incidents in
Sir,
where this
this
law firm
item is
representing
about the
a
public
board.
speaking
we
on
can
the
go ahead and
agenda.
end this, Mr. Gonzalez. We're trying to stick to the
Stick to
what's
the
going
agenda,
on
sir,
here.
please.
It
That's
is
all we
an
ask.
You
agenda
want to
item,
talk
sir.
about House Bill 2840, which you wrote on here, which is through item N, and you're going above and beyond. And I think
No,
we're going to go ahead and end the
it's within the
conversation
scope.
already. But
It
you
is-
wrote here, agenda item, HB 2840 is what you wanted to cover through the item
It
N of
does,
the agenda.
specifically allows that.
Sir, you have 20 seconds, sir.
But you're not covering HB
I'm mentioning
2840.
J.J. Ibarra and the.
Sir, no
representation
names,
of
please.
this
Sir,
board.
we're going to ask you to, we're going to have to ask
Well,
you
Gonzalez,
to
I have to say
Texas-
thank you for coming
Texas
over.
Sir,
Rangers
well,
on
guys.
felony charges,
Bingo,
Sir.
bingo.
felony charges.
Hold on. You are excused from the board chambers, and Mr. Hinojosa will escort you out.
Again, I'll refer this to the Attorney General's office in regards to this.
Yep, thank you,
We
Mr.
look forward to
Gonzalez.
this,
I
sir.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good night. Okay, moving on. We have item 4, reorganization of the Board of Trustees, realignment of board officers.
Mr. Board President, I'd like to nominate Nano Torres to be the next president of the EISD School Board.
Second.
Okay. You beat me to it. I'd like to recognize Mr. Ibarra's motion for Mr. Torres and Mr. Lozano's second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'd also like to make a motion to keep, oh, I'm sorry, we're getting.
Hold on, let me switch it out here. I want to see my going away. My time.
And we knew it was
You know me, I want to say something.
You should coming.
You know. I know, I'm joking around. I just want to say thank you to my colleagues here on the board. I appreciate the opportunity from when I first got elected to serve as the secretary, as the vice president the following year, and as the president this past year. It has been an experience, and it's kind of like I went and did the swearing in at LBJ for the student councils over there, and they had their treasurers and everybody. And it's kind of the same here. You kind of learn the titles that you're coming in and learning more about the school district and more as what a board of trustees does. And I don't have 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
No, you keep going.
I'm going. And I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. It's been fun. It's been quite the experience. I've got to work real well with the administration and get to know more in depth of what goes on in the school district. I love serving. I've been serving since the age of 24, and as the mayor of Ed Couch, and I love it. I love serving the people. I like to leave something better than what I found it. That's always been my motto. I come into something, and whenever I leave, I want to make sure that it's better than what it was. And Mr. Torres was here when I first got in, and then Mr. Barco, and then myself. So I know Mr. Torres knows what he's doing. And just thank you, everybody. I appreciate it, and thank you guys. I really appreciate y'all.
It's been a wonderful ride.
All right, I guess we'll go ahead and get started with the second part of the realignment. Mr. Ibarra, you got a motion?
Make a motion for Chris Morales to continue as vice president and Mr. Robert Peacock to continue as secretary.
Second.
Fantastic job.
All right, there's a motion by Mr. Ibarra, second by Mr. Swanson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Good job, Bob. Good job, Bob. Good job, Chris.
All right, we're going to go ahead and jump into agenda item number 5, superintendent's report. It's under A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I, which is going to cover from technology, elementary, playground needs, student enrollment. These are all going to be in your report, correct, Doctor?
Yes, that's correct.
Go ahead. Hold it.
Okey-doke. Let me start on page 1. I'm showing the enrollment, and as you can see, compared to last year, now we're at a minus 103. And this is real good. Before, we were almost at 160, 170, so we're catching up to the enrollment where we were last year. And again, the schools that shows the highest enrollment was the high school at a plus 32.
Yeah.
The one that showed the least, where we lost kids, was JFK at a minus 60. Let me just say that during the year, we have adjusted to these numbers with our staff. So even though they have less, we've adjusted. On page 2, some good news to present on page 2. Our budget for this coming year was based on 4,376 students. For the first 6 weeks, we were 4445. For the second 6 weeks, 4475. So right now, we're at a plus 84 past what the budgeted ADA was. So this means that right now, we have about an additional $600,000 coming back to the district if we can continue at least for 2 more 6 weeks. So far, we're doing real good with our attendance.
Awesome. Good job, principals.
Good job.
On page 3, we've been on this now for several months. The district had a grant of $300,000, and the grant was based on the schools that qualify, that required improvement, or they were comprehensive targeted school, like Truana and Ibarra. So because of this, we had the first part of $300,000. Now the second part, we have an agenda tonight to go ahead and approve the second part. Once we get together with the people that are assisting us, we'll submit the TA, and we'll know hopefully by in the spring for the phase 2. If we get the phase 2, it will mean an additional $500 to $2 million. And with this money, we'll go to these schools to work on stipends, school facilities improvement, upgrade technology, and after-school enrichment activities. So tonight on the agenda is for you to go ahead and approve the part that goes to phase 2. On page 4, there's some projects that Mr. Salinas, the engineer, has worked on. The bus barn pavement project, the ag barn driveway and walking trail, and the storm drainage. Now, these projects were approved at the facilities. The board has never actually approved these yet. So Mr. Salinas has done some of the work, and you can see that for the bus pavement, he's charging us as of what he's done, $48,000, the ag barn driveway, $36,000, and the storm drainage, $40,000. To the right, you can see the estimated cost of the project. So again, this is something we have not officially approved this at a board meeting, so it's up to the board how you want to direct me to go ahead and work on these services of Mr. Salinas. On page 5, we have been working the board directed us to look at after-school meal food programs. And what we have so far is that all schools are being serviced after-school snacks by SFE, but their contract only covers the snacks. It does not cover any additional meals during the day. In order for us to go ahead and look at these after-school meals, we're going to have to wait until their contract is over in June, and then request new qualifications for the addendum for these meals. They can't do it right now, so right now we cannot service these meals until the new proposal comes out. And this again, will come back to you later to see what you want to do with this one.
Doc, could I interject here real quick, because I know this is something that I had brought up and I had asked you to look at. I made a phone call. I'm still trying to get a little bit more information. Just so we're clear, what this is a program, not necessarily a program. It's a school-adopted program. From Dallas ISD. Now, what they're doing is any extra food that's left, not waste, but extra food that's left, they're vacuum sealing it, kind of like they put like a seal over it. They put them in chillers. Come Friday afternoon, those meals are given to those families that are most needed within those, district-wide. I made a phone call. I asked. I said, no, it's not necessarily in a campus, per particular campus. They earmark certain families that these meals go home to, just because it's a long weekend. Especially, we're gonna have a long 1 week break here. There's a lot of families that go hungry during this time. So that's the program that I'm discussing. It's not necessarily an after-school meal program. We're not cooking any more meals. We're not, it's more of using the little extra that we do make, kind of get it together, vacuum seal all of it, and put it in chillers, and then distribute that on Friday afternoon. That's what they're.
I think what this is the USDA funding for everybody on campus.
Right.
What you're talking about is something totally different.
Right, and that's what I had asked to look
And I
into.
think on the next to the last bullet, maybe this is what we're discussing. The board had a contract last year with RGV Read and Feed, but that contract, I guess it was done sometime last year. It expired in June 2019. So that contract expired.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting together, Mrs. Garcia and I.
I just wanted to give you a clearer picture as to what I was talking about.
Could we do that right now in-house? SFE? But what he's saying is
Correct.
different. It's food that we have already.
Correct. Now what they did, and I asked that because I know Mr. Romero had asked me the same thing, and I told him what they did. Just to clarify, they partnered up with an entity very similar to RGV Food Bank, and that's kind of who they partnered up with as far as Dallas ISD is concerned. But the great thing about it is they got to earmark what families got this food, and that's the beauty of it. It's not that you're just turning it over to RGV Food Bank and letting them distribute that food however they wish to distribute it. The school district itself gets to earmark what families receive this particular food.
Will we have a criteria to select those particular families that are?
Well, I would assume so through the administration and through the administrators at the campuses. I would assume we could come up. Yes, obviously we have to come up with, and your administrators at your district, at your campuses, you know those kids that are. I see them. I know. There's some big need. Huge need.
The meals are delivered, or?
No. What happens is they have a central location. That's what this particular teacher. He's just a teacher. He was telling me that they have a central location in Dallas, obviously.
Does
But
it
here,
need to be a nonprofit like a Valley Food Bank?
yes, you have to partner with a nonprofit. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like a food bank. No.
EDC is a nonprofit.
Correct. It could be the local EDC. Mm-hmm. That is correct as well. Now, what they do is that's what they're told. They do it a little bit different there, but what he said is at the beginning of the school year, they earmark these families per campus. They tell them that they want a raffle or whatever the case may be to not let them. And then what they do is they go and pick it up. The family is told, okay, this time every Friday, you can show up at this location and your meals will be boxed and ready for you to go. So they're pretty much just sealed on the top of the actual plate. And they take them home, and that's what they have for the weekend. But
So that with, I'm sorry, Doc. So with that, do we have to go out and rebid, or is that something that we could just get a partner like the EDC to talk with SFE and get that done already? Because what this is for the USDA.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to clarify.
This is what
It
we have to
wasn't-
rebid is this. What you're doing is something we could just get into an interlocal, put it on our agenda. I don't know, Rigo, if I'm right or wrong over there. Rigo,
We can make it
an interlocal with our nutrition department, with the EDC.
Yeah.
and get this done.
And get with that, because that way we're not applying for anything.
Now, I know the chillers are the issue, correct? Right, no, and that's what I'm saying, yeah, I knew that was gonna be the issue, but, because they told me that was the issue, but they didn't use federal money, yeah, it just can't be federal funded.
So this
fairly
firm
funded.
that was hired last year, RGB, was it different?
Yes, this is totally different, Doc.
Totally
Yeah,
different.
yeah, this is totally different. I mean, I had brought up this because a friend of mine brought it up to my attention, and
There's an obvious need.
Right, there is, there is.
Okay, so that's one topic of the nutrition we do. The other one is the USDA after-school meal that we do to all of our students.
Yes, that'd be great, yeah, that's something different.
But that one, we'd have to either wait till their contract is up or go out to RFPs right now and have SFE and, I don't know if anybody else would, but it would have to be a new.
Yes.
We can do that after the contract expires in June, so
We'd have to do it.
We
We'd
can
have to do
start
it
the
now.
process.
Okay.
We can start the process and rebid it just so that way we can get that USDA grant going and we get that school meal program. Now, the details of the after-school meal program, that pays the ladies who are gonna be making the food also? Would it be our same cafeteria ladies or it'll be outside source? Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, good. So that get more opportunities for them as well, right?
perfect, yeah. That's good.
Good.
Right, Doc?
We'll come back next month.
Okay,
with
thank you,
more
Doc.
information on
I
it.
just wanted to clarify where I was.
Yeah, but now you kind of know which direction we kind of want to go.
Exactly. Yes, yes.
Okay, good.
Okay, on page 6, I just want to show that right now, our fund balance, we have 13,400,000. We have the 3 months reserve as required by TEA. So the goal this year is not to spend the 13,400, but to go ahead and work within our budget, which we can do. So again, good news, we have a healthy fund balance, and as long as we don't continue dipping into this, we're gonna be in good shape.
Great news, Doc.
On page 7, and talking about the budget this year, on page 7, this is something you want to present. This is also an agenda item under consent, but this is really the budget, the 2020 budget as of November the 6th. And again, the goal is, you have the different functions. The goal here is not to go into the red. And right now, I have good news to report that you look at the bottom, right now, as of November the 6th, the money's coming in, the monies we have spent, right now we're at a plus $305,000. So right now we're doing good with the budget. We want to continue doing this, so at the end of August 31st, we will have a surplus here and not spend more than what we have budgeted. So we're working very closely with all the different functions to make sure that we stay with a balanced budget. On page 8, this is what I mentioned at the last meetings. We have monies available for district needs. We have almost or over $5 million from 3 different funds. The self-funded unemployment, the self-funded workers' comp, and the SHARS. This is the amount that we have. The possible use is the self-funded $400,000, the workers' comp 1.5, the SHARS $1 million. So if we were to spend, of course, the board's going to approve all of this, but if we were to spend $2.9 million on needs that we need, we still have 2.2 available in these three functions. So as we go during the year, we'll discuss this and see some of these projects that we need, we can take them from this $2.9 million. On page 9, talking about needs. Okay, the first one is the gyms in the elementary. Right now at RCR, Gutierrez Early Childhood, they have air conditioning and heating systems in their gyms. The three schools that do not are Garcia, LBJ, and JFK. They don't have, and it's very cold during cold days and very hot during the summer. The approximate cost to do these three is about $200,000. So from the 2.9, we could use this, and it's an agenda item tonight to see if the board wants to go ahead and use some of the 2.9 to go ahead and get this project started to air condition 3 gyms in elementary. On page 10, it just shows you a picture of the gyms, Garcia and LBJ, and just so you can see that these two are not, there's no heat, there's no air conditioning. On page 11, our playgrounds also are in bad shape, both the surface and also some of the actual equipment. The board asked us to look into an organization that is nonprofit. We have looked into this about the possibility of them being able to help us with the playground. So we're still researching this, still working with them. And what they would do, it's a community project, they would build them and through donations. So we're looking into this. But right now, our playgrounds are in deep need of repair. And possible repairs would be the wood chips, rubber mulch, synthetic grass, or synthetic rubber turf. An agenda item is on the board to use a 2.9 to do something on this. On page 12.
Doc, real quick, before we move on, I'm sorry, but it's because I read it here again. It says the playground would meet all requirements set forth by ADA. That's very different from an all-inclusive playground. An ADA approved playground is just exactly what it is. It's just a swing. Okay, if we're gonna use SHAR's money to fix any of these playgrounds, I want them to be all-inclusive playgrounds.
Okay.
I want those kids to be able to use those playgrounds just like every other kid. We're using their money. I would just appreciate that it's their money. They get to enjoy their money as well. So that's all I ask is that when we review this, let's please take into account
I agree.
that we're using that. Okay?
And again, the board will decide
Yeah,
exactly.
I just want to make sure that we're aware of that.
I agree with you.
Okay, thank you, Doc.
On page 12, it just shows the playgrounds right now. You can see JFK, RCR, and Gutierrez. The turf is in real bad shape.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And Doc, in the process of looking at this, can we make sure that whatever has failed in the past, you know, if it's the rubber mulch, the regular mulch, whatever it is, that we don't repeat it. Let's go out there and look for something.
Yeah,
something better.
Yeah.
And it's further down on the slide.
Yeah.
On page 13, we have the same thing. On 13, you see
look at
Garcia
this
in
one,
bad
man.
shape. You see LBJ in bad shape. On page 14,
Doc, how much of it is just that they're old and how much of it is it lack of maintenance? Because on the daycare picture, you can see a lot of it is overgrown. I mean, I know you can't put pesticides, but a little bit of vinegar and water would also do the trick. I mean, when's the last time we showed some TLC to these?
When were these bought? When the school was built?
These were replaced.
I mean, don't you think it's kind of time to upgrade them?
No, yeah, that, yes, but JJ,
I know what JJ's saying.
Mr. Vara has a good
I know what
point.
he's saying.
I mean, this one is.
To keep up with the mulch, and the
Yeah,
grass,
this
and
one's
the vinegar,
real
water, and
bad. I
everything.
mean, look at that picture. I mean,
And
it's
in the
just,
summertime, you can go and actually put Roundup there because there won't be no students on it. But during the year, you put the vinegar and water. But
Wow.
I want to know, like LBJ, it's sunburned really bad. You can tell that's really old.
Do an assessment. And,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a cost estimate.
Well, we got it right here. It's coming up.
And it's
And the
on page-
daycare,
it's
I mean,
on
come
page
on.
15.
That's kind of embarrassing to even post that photo up there. Go back. Let's go back. Look, the slide is tilted over and there's grass growing inside of it.
It's not being used right now.
I know, but I mean,
No, it's bad. I
that
agree.
looks really bad.
This is why I'm bringing it to the agenda.
And that's another department we need to look into.
But you see on the side, sir, they don't use it for, they just put a bed there, that no green stuff.
They just kind of threw it in there.
A garden or?
Oh, they threw it out. Oh, okay.
A garden now?
I thought it was like growing inside of it already.
On page 15, you see the actual, the wood chips. If we go that route, it would cost us approximately $34,000 for the 5 schools. If we go with the rubber mulch, The amount is about $91,000.
This is for all district-wide, right?
Yes, all schools.
But this doesn't include the playground itself, right?
No,
It's just,
just the
okay.
surface.
Okay.
Just the surface.
We
On,
That's for all the.
yes, with the rubber mulch.
This one right here is what the hardest one has?
On page 16, you have more expensive surfaces. You have the synthetic grass turf,
cushiony,
$402,000.
bouncy.
We have that.
And then the
You have that?
synthetic rubber turf, $409,000.
Chris, you have that at your campus?
We have the rubber, synthetic rubber turf. And it's really nice.
So again, later on the agenda, y'all can give me direction to move right now, to wait, or what is it? Which
So,
direction do you want to go?
Like the mulch, that's like a year thing. I don't know how long mulch is. It start getting thrown out, kids throw it out, it gets sun dried. It ain't gonna last very long. So this 34,000, you're gonna have to spend it every year. It doesn't last very long compared to making a little bigger investment, but it's gonna last you at least what, like 10 years at least.
And also because it's in a housing, whenever you get a lot of rain, it actually.
Now, real quick, I mean, and again, this is just me playing devil's advocate. I don't know who we're, but are we putting the cart in front of the horse here? I mean, because I think we need to figure out what we're going to do with the playground system first.
Yeah.
So if it changes, obviously the diameter changes for these floors, so the cost might go up or down. Correct?
Right.
Okay.
Well-
So I think we should start
Are we
there.
doing repairs or are we doing brand new play systems?
Right now, I'm showing you the turf, but we can go
Because
there and
because
do
it's
the actually.
look at it's the mulch isn't there anymore. It's more of a safety concern now.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. So should we just go the least expensive route now till we buy the new playground systems? Are we moving in that direction, or should we just?
Well, I wouldn't even want to make an investment.
Right,
You're
or so
basically,
we,
you're basically throwing away $34,000.
and that's why I'm saying, are we putting the cart in front of the horse? Can we look at the playground systems first
but-
and see, and then we put the turf, obviously, on the new playground systems, right?
So like here, you know, you have the playground set, but if you take out that old playground, because you're gonna put the new rubber mat, you put the new playground on top of it, no?
Correct, but how do you know the new playground's gonna fit on top of that rubber mat? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You know, the diameter might be
Has there
different.
been an audit done on our playground systems?
Did they do an audit, Doc?
It's one heck of an audit.
Yeah,
Some need more than others.
Right.
Some playgrounds, all
Or
they
work.
need is a turf.
okay, well, that's right, yeah, that'd be, yeah,
So let's do a master plan on the
Okay.
playgrounds.
yeah,
Okay.
that's what I mean.
So when we
Mr.
come
Buckle?
to the agenda item, we'll just table it.
Yeah.
That'll be more
See, that's what I
information.
mean.
master plan?
Let's create a plan
Yeah.
Which
and
one
attack.
is the worst right now, Rudy? Do you recall? Principals? Everyone raised
Principals, everybody's gonna raise their hand. Rock, paper, scissors, man.
I remember going.
Yeah, then we do an audit, right? We'll do a master plan and audit it and do a master plan and get with you all and kind of something reasonable, but something good and new and.
Bring him down maybe and see what he says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get with him and then get with the principals, so that way they can kind of come, because those things, those gyms, jungle
See,
gyms
Doc,
are expensive.
Yeah, and the only reason,
Very.
pero te digo, I don't want to approve that right now,
Right.
like any of this,
Okay.
because let's jump into it, you know, with both feet. Let's find out, let's figure out, let's get, you know, and then because we approve anything like this right now, it might change.
I'm
Well, if
okay.
we were to get that bond going, we'd be able to use some of that money to redo all the playground systems. You know, which the bond is what we were initially gonna do. I know we kind of held back, but that bond system would really help out here.
We gotta give the doc a chance to finish his report, so we got.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Sorry, thank you.
So when
Adam.
we get to this,
Thank
one,
you.
we can just table it.
Whip us some,
Bring more
whip-
information.
correct-
Okay, now, the district also has, we also have needs in technology. And right now, in the current budget, we have $400,000 that we can use. That's in the budget right now. We also were able to use $160,000 from the instructional material allotment fund. So we have about 500 plus monies available for technology, how we can use this. And we'll come back to the board, this is just information, we'll come back to the board and on the next page, page 18, it shows you what staff has told me. Mr. Torres has gone together with the principals and this is what his list is of things that we need. Classroom computer labs, 1,400 replacements, teacher laptops, teaching tablets, high school calculators, Chromebooks, 300, iPads, 200. So again, we have $500,000 right now. We're gonna come back to you and place them in some kind of order, what we need the most, and then have the board approve what we need the most. But right now, we're falling behind technology. On page 19, happy to report the E-rate project got funded, estimated almost $900,000. And the monies will be used to replace the network switches district-wide, upgrade, replacing aging equipment, and for faster connections. So again, this was approved, and we have almost $1 million to work on this E-rate project grant. Now, I showed you the loans that we had before. We have 6 loans from past years. The one that we probably need to look at, and it's on the next page, is the turf and track project. We have 2 years remaining to pay for this. So if the board decides to go ahead and do the turf and track, we can consolidate and pay off the last 3, the Jumbotron, the radios, the Musco lighting. We can pay these off with the monies that we have, the $2.9 million, and then go for another loan, a second turf and track, but in 2 years, you pay off the first one. So this is, and the next page, it kind of shows you where we are on the
Hey,
turf.
Doc, are we gonna see any money, any insurance money on that?
It's on the next page.
Oh.
That's what we're looking at, on page 21.
Sorry.
On page 21,
Jumping the gun, Rolly, jumping the gun.
All right.
there's a loan for 10 years, and again, 2 years remain. There's 1 year left on the warranty. Now, I understand the company that did this became bankrupt, so we don't know how much we can get from this company. From the June storm claims, we met with the adjuster, and he's gonna let us know exactly, because I'm sure that in the June storm, some damage was done. So we're working with him to see how much of this they'll come back and pay us as a claim. And again, the turf, I'm told by the coaches that they're reporting major injuries on the turf right now.
Yeah.
I'm told that the repairs are not done. The turf may not be able to endure another year. The estimated cost for the new turf is about $600,000, the track $350,000. And again, I mentioned the school district has maximized the loans allowed by law. So the only way to get another loan was to pay off 2 or 3, and then we can get another loan, because the first track is paid off in 2 years. And then, again, a possible action tonight is to go ahead and secure a new loan, and I'll come back to the board and with that one. And again, it's on tonight's agenda to see if the board wants to take action right now. And right now, really, the time, the longer we wait, the longer the stadium will not be ready
For next season?
Yes. So again, as we go on the agenda, you can guide me as to what you want to do with this item. Now, on page 22, these are small projects, and these we can do, they're below certain amounts, so these, we've already done some of these. There's a big roof repairs at Rubén Rodriguez, and this is only in an area. We're looking at the warranty also, and we also want to extend the canopy for safety reason at Rubén Rodriguez. You've probably seen that it does not extend all the way to where the sidewalk is, and we're going to go ahead and look at that canopy. Mr. Rudy gave me an estimate today about maybe the canopy itself will be about $8,000 or $9,000. So we can do that, and we've already done the next one, the sidewalk at JFK on the student pickup and drop off. We've already done this one because they're long lines, so there's one line for the pickup. So now we've done some work and we're having 2 lines now. And we've got the crosswalk, and we've got to extend the canopy over there too. So another project that we've already done, but it's here, is that we have to seal the boiler room at the high school to prevent water damage again, and then before we install the boiler. The coach met with us today, and he said that he'd rather wait until December to seal it and to go ahead and put the new boiler system. And the only problem is that the kids have cold water for showers. But he'd rather wait, the coach would rather wait because of games until December to finish this project. On page 23, these are projects that have been requested but are not budgeted. And again, the board can guide me as to what you want to do, what you don't want to do, you want to wait. One is to extend the bus barn to include concrete and canopy for working conditions, not walking, working conditions. And then Rudy has told me that we might need a chiller. Right now it's okay, but we might need a chiller later in the year, 125. We need to do some landscaping at the ag barn district-wide. During the summer, you all asked me to look into converting the Ibarra gym to regulation. That's an approximate cost.
Damn.
There's some roof repairs in the warehouse, a fire alarm at Ibarra, and additional work, concrete and leveling the grounds around the ag building due to water retaining. So these projects I'll bring back to you one by one to see which of these you want me to go ahead and do. Okay, my last slide, good news. We have $1 million already set aside for next year's budget. And about half of this is in the summer, we reduced staff through summer attrition. As we saw that we're gonna have less students, we went ahead and reduced staff through attrition. And right now projecting the ADA from the original number, so we have $1 million already ready in case next year we lose enrollment, so we can balance the budget. Right now, if we keep the balanced budget, we can keep the August and Christmas incentive bonus if we do not go over the budget for 2020. A lot of information. This is my report. Do you have any questions on any of these slides?
Great job, Doc.
Thank you.
Very
Good job, Doc.
informative, very informative.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then later on the agenda, you can tell me yes or no, table or do or don't do, as we cover these one by one.
All right, Doc, thank you, Doc.
Thank you, Doc.
Thanks.
We're gonna go ahead and go into number 6, consent agenda items.
If there are no questions on any of these items, I'd like to make a motion to approve consent agenda items as presented.
A second?
All right, there's a motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Schmasri. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Now going to 7, discussion and action items. A, discussion and action items, submit resolution nominating candidates for the Board of Directors of Hidalgo County Appraisal District, 2019 to 2020. Dr. Rivera?
On page 257 of your packet,
I don't have the full package.
on 257, you have a list on the ballot, and you have names here.
Doc, we'd like to make a motion to split the votes allotted to this board to Ricardo Garza
Ricardo Garza.
Ricardo Garza.
and Mr. Betancourt, between the two.
Okay.
Whatever votes are allotted on this board, I'd like to make a motion to split those votes in half between those two candidates.
I second.
There's a Mr. Betancourt there?
I'm sorry?
It's for Ricardo Garza?
Yes,
and
Richard Garza?
Richard Garza and
Richard
Mr. and Betancourt.
Yes, I got it.
Is it,
How many votes do we have?
25,
25, so
half and half.
half and half.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Okay.
Who was 13?
yeah,
Which
that's the
one?
thing, there's gonna be one left over.
And then Mr. Betancourt will take that too.
Okay, 13, okay.
There's a motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Schmasri. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Motion passes. Next item. Number B, letter B, discussion action to approve the school action fund selection. Dr.
On
Rivera.
your superintendent's report, page 3, I went over this. So, Mrs. Garcia's here, the principals are here on this Part 2 grant. If you have any questions for them.
Oh, it's for that grant.
What is? School Action Fund, what is that?
On page 3.
It's on page 3, part of his report.
Okay.
That's part of that grant.
Oh,
I can make a motion to approve.
A motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Ibarra. All those in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. D, discussion and action to approve targeted improvement plan for Ruben C. Rodriguez Elementary School. Doctor?
Okay, on C, this is,
And
you received these,
you are correct. Discussion and action to approve district and campus
yeah.
on SIP.
You
Yes.
received these electronically, the campus plans, and you have these electronically. The principals are here, Ms. Garcia is here, if you have any particular question on the campus plans.
We do not.
You received these electronically?
Yeah, we're good.
This is what they presented on,
No,
correct?
no, this is the
No.
campus plans.
It's a campus.
Oh,
plan.
campus-
They-
Campus
they-
plan, these are all schools. Every school has their own
Are
campus
you
plan.
all right with it, Doug? Okay, I'll go ahead and motion for approval.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Swanson, second by Mr. Lozano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. D, discussion and action to approve targeted improvement plan for Ruben C. Rodriguez Elementary.
Okay, this was the public hearing, and Ms. Olivares presented, and she's here. If you have more questions during the public hearing.
I can make a motion to approve.
Second?
There's a motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Swanson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. E, approve the targeted improvement plan for Carlos F. Truan Junior High School.
Motion for approval?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Swanson, second by Mr. Lozano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. F, discussion and possible action to seek proposals for the replacement of the turf and track at Benny Layton Memorial Stadium. Dr. Rivera?
Okay, on the superintendent's report, I mentioned that we have, the loans that we have, and then I mentioned the possibility of us looking at the insurance, the adjuster. So if you want for us to continue, you want to table it?
No.
It's proposals, right? We're just
The
gonna go for
proposals.
Yes,
proposals.
proposal.
I motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Swanson, second by Mr. Lozano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. G, discussion and action to seek proposals for elementary playground surface. Doctor?
Again, we had the report on it, and give me direction. You want us to go ahead and come up with a master plan?
Master plan.
Okay.
Motion to table this item?
Second.
There's a motion by Mr. Swanson, second by Mr. Lozano. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item has been tabled. H, discussion and action to advertise for RFPs on elementary gym AC upgrades. Doctor?
Yeah, we had superintendent's report. There's 3 schools. Do you want us to, about 200,000. You want us to go ahead and advertise and start getting those 3?
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
It's for RFPs.
Just start, it's RFPs.
Yeah, okay. You made a motion? Second? Or-
There's a motion by Mr. Lozano,
Mr. Barco, second.
second by Mr. Barco. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. I, discussion and action to approve an interlocal agreement between Ecachos ISD and La Via ISD on use of the old ag barn. Dr. Rivera.
Yeah. Mr. Castillo, the attorney, was going to go ahead and work on the agreement. So I don't know if he gave it to Rico.
Did he give you an agreement?
All they want is to use our facility until theirs is finished, but he was going to work on all the language.
Something about $1 million for rental.
It's gonna be a reasonable price.
A reasonable price, right?
Yes.
Or like you're gonna work a
Yes, we'll work it out.
rental fee.
Rental fee.
All right, any motion to approve?
Motion for, to approve interlocal agreement?
Second.
A motion by Mr. Swanson, second by Mr. Lozano. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Number 8, closed session. The superintendent requests that the Board of Trustees convene in closed meeting as authorized by the provisions of the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. This executive session is in accordance with the Texas Government Code 551.074 for the purpose of discussion personnel considering appointment, employment, resignation, retirement, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal. It is now 7:47. We are in executive session.
Thanks a lot, Chief. Really appreciate your help keeping the cool earlier control. Thank you.
Chief Hinojosa.
7 strong.
Javi. Stand up, man.
Mr. President?
You gotta turn them into,
Oh, is this yours?
yeah, these are the ones that are signed.
Oh, yeah, we're all supposed to sign with them.
Mr. President,
You gotta give them to, yeah.
can we go back a little bit maybe and give me some direction as to what to do with the
Okay, let me go ahead and, all right.
project?
All right, it's now 8:45. We're back from executive session. Doc?
Can you give me some direction, the board, some direction of what to do with the projects that I mentioned, where we have the engineer, and sign the page?
I think we mentioned about having a workshop to discuss the
Yeah,
the
project-
priority.
The storm drainage project. If we met with the county and
Oh,
we
okay.
had some direction.
Oh,
So that's.
on the
same
reservoir and
drainage
stuff like that.
project.
Okay, so Doc, you've got a proposal on that already, or?
Well, just information from the county.
Okay.
Well, that goes back to his presentation.
Priorities. All right, so the doctor would like to go back and revisit his report to discuss the item as far as,
On page 4.
the drainage, correct, doctor?
Yes. Get some direction.
For your information, we had a committee meeting. We had Commissioner Fuentes here and the Drain District Manager, Mr. Sassin. They have committed to working with us by doing all the labor, providing labor, equipment, and that's quite a bit of help. But the sooner we can get the plan specifications ready for them, the sooner they can put us on their list of priorities of work that needs to be done. If not, if we wait too long, they'll have other cities or school districts that will commit to them, and we'll be at the bottom again, probably till next year sometime.
So the doctor's looking for some direction as far as how we want to proceed with the drainage project.
What are we looking at doing, Mr. Barco, or Dr. Rivera? Are we looking at going out for,
Authorize our superintendent to do a work authorization for the engineer to begin doing fence specs and meeting with the drain district especially, and prepare those plans according to
We
their
can't vote on that right now.
It's
requirements.
on the agenda, right? The only item legal would be, that's not part of the agenda item to authorize. That was part of the presentation. At this time, are we allowed to give him direction to go ahead and,
I didn't really have a chance to hear it, if he was kind of mentioning, was it something that was on the open?
Superintendent report.
It was on the
superintendent's report.
But it's nothing on, it's not a voting item to go out to get the
Yeah, it
specs.
wasn't on action item, but I don't think they
But-
need board authority even to.
You need what?
for the work authorization?
You have to vote on it, you have to.
Yeah.
So it's, because it wasn't on action item, we won't take board authority at the moment, but we can kind of put it on another item next agenda.
Maybe we can have a special meeting?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. There's a couple things we need to add on there anyway.
So then at this time, we'd have to ask you to put it on for the December meeting?
No, you don't want to call a special?
Or a special board meeting?
Yeah, we don't want to wait that long.
Okay,
No.
well then let's,
Well, let us call a special meeting and put it on that agenda.
Yeah.
maybe next Thursday? Morning,
Before Thanksgiving?
I'll be here.
next Thursday morning would be fine.
Well, you're walking distance, or crawling, whichever one.
Well, Doc, I guess, Doc, decide what's a good day to call a special board meeting?
Okay.
Even if it's a morning meeting, a quick morning meeting?
Quick, in and out.
Even if it's a quick morning meeting, Doctor?
Okay, or none? Or none? Morning?
I'm available next Wednesday morning.
Wednesday?
I'm gonna be off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I'm off Thursday and Friday.
We'll let you know.
All right. Okay, Doctor, so then we're back from executive session. So we have item A, which was the discussion of possible action regarding personnel considered appointment, employment, resignation, retirement, evaluation, reassignment duties. Desmond, Doctor?
Recommend approval.
So moved.
Discussion in closed session.
There's a motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Ibarra. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. D, discussion action regarding pending contemplated litigations. There were no litigations discussed in that, so no action needed.
Was it the Fulcrum litigation?
Yes. The attorney was gonna discuss it in closed session.
Okay.
We're gonna move
We're
forward.
gonna go move forward with the recommendation of the attorney.
Recommendations to go forward.
Yeah. So move.
Se-
A second.
Maybe we should go back into executive session, just give a brief. I stepped out and I want to be.
All right.
Okay.
There's a motion right now.
Real
It's
quick.
time to return to executive session.
All right, second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
8:48.
Motion passes. 8:48.
8:48 back in executive. That's how deep, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. You're in detail, sir. Or special detail. We'll see y'all later. I think
Back when I was board president, that never happened.
Yeah, we like to do things right now.
Where everybody go?
Where did everybody go?
Ms. Rocha's always here, all the time.
It's gonna come back in now. We're back.
They're like, nobody up again.
It is now 9:53. We are back from executive. I'm sorry, 8:51. We're back from executive session a second time. Item B, discussion and action regarding consultation, legal consult regarding pending or contemplated litigation, settlement offers, a matter of which the duty of attorney of Edcard Charles Independent School District under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Profession Conduct, State of Texas. Texas Government Code 551.071. Number one, discussion and action to authorize legal action against architect for Ag Barn project. Legal?
As discussed.
As discussed in executive session, we accept the director report.
Make a motion to approve authorization.
There's a motion by Mr. Lozano, second by Mr. Ibarra. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Number 10, adjournment.
So move.
Motion has been made for adjournment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are now adjourned.
Thank you.